He has no use for Shedeur. It's going to take the owner stepping in and saying no to Stefanski. But I'm going to tell you what tears me up about this. They have the fourth easiest schedule remaining. They have what Pro Football Focus ranks the #1 defense in pro football. This draft class is starting to percolate. Mason pick. So it scares me because Stefanski is going to fight for his life and his job and his draft pick, a third-round pick in Dillon. It tears my guts out to watch what's happening to Shedeur with a chance. This is on a silver platter for somebody to take the reins. So I'm not loving this for Shedeur unless Jimmy Haslam just steps in and says, okay, that's enough. We have to give the people.
Skip Bayless just turned into a full-blown courtroom attorney, slamming that desk like he's ready to prosecute the entire NFL. And right in the middle of his meltdown, Shedeur Sanders gets benched, like someone just unplugged the TV during the best part of the movie. What in the world is happening? Did Skip finally lose his mind, or did Kevin Stefanski just crown himself the new villain of the league? Because this drama isn't football anymore. It's pure chaos on prime time. The moment Skip saw that Shedeur Sanders got benched, he snapped. Dude went from sports talk to Judge Judy on turbo mode, talking like he's about to file an emergency appeal with the Supreme Court. You could practically see the steam coming out of his ears. Injustice, betrayal, disgrace. He hit every dramatic word in the dictionary. The man wasn't just mad, he was possessed by the spirit of courtroom outrage. And the funniest part? The Cleveland Browns made one coaching call, and Skip acted like they robbed the nation's archives. Somewhere out there, Stefanski's just staring at his phone like, how did I end up on trial for this? It's wild. He went from being a head coach to being the main suspect in Skip Bayless's imaginary sports trial. But here's where the story really blows up. Cleveland pulled off the most Cleveland move possible. They benched the one guy everyone actually wanted to see. The city's hope, the future of the franchise, the highlight machine himself, Shedeur Sanders, gone. Just like that. It's like firing the DJ 5 minutes before the party starts. And the worst part? The timing. Hours before kickoff, Stefanski decides to make a power move, swapping Shedeur for Dylan Gabriel, the football equivalent of plain toast. Safe, forgettable, and about as exciting as a lukewarm cup of gas station coffee.
I'm not objective about this, but this was hitting bottom yesterday. This is all-time shameful on the part of Kevin Stefanski. This was Kevin Stefanski pretty much declaring public war on Shedeur, or at least Cold War on Shedeur, because he won't even speak Shedeur's name in these interview sessions. It's like Parcells when T.O. was there. He wouldn't even call his name. He just called him the player. Remember that? And this is degenerated into every time he's asked about Shedeur, he just plays.
What a mess. You could practically hear it. The sound of an entire fan base groaning in agony, echoing through the Great Lakes like a storm of pure frustration. Cleveland's collective sigh could have powered the stadium lights. And right when you thought the chaos couldn't get louder, here came Skip. Oh, Skip Bayless didn't just react, he erupted. The man went nuclear, stepping straight into full courtroom mode, like he just discovered a secret clause in the Constitution that protects benched quarterbacks. This wasn't a rant, it was a legal drama with shoulder shrugs and outrage sprinkled in for flavor. In Skip's mind, Kevin Stefanski hadn't just made a coaching decision. He'd committed crimes against football, humanity, and the holy temple of Skip Bayless, Eskins. You'd swear he was preparing to call witnesses, cross-examine referees, and subpoena the playbook itself. Reports even joked that Skip was preparing legal action, which in Skip speak means 10 hours of yelling into a microphone until the nearest judge waves a white flag and resigns in defeat. The man was unhinged and loving every second of it. But here's where it got hilarious. Skip framed the whole meltdown like he was some kind of superhero defending the sacred rights of young quarterbacks everywhere.
Shedeur can be great if you give him a shot. Shedeur would have ignited the sideline and the huddle if thrown into the fray, even at Pittsburgh. And I completely respect what you have to say about it's not his game plan, and he's not getting reps and blah, blah. I get all that. He's just a very special kid. And I know his father very well. And his father raised him to be a starting quarterback in the National Football League. He was raised around stars and superstars. It's just in his blood. If you give him a chance, he will seize the opportunity and he will run with it.
He talked like he'd just been sworn in as the guardian of every quarterback under 25. He called Stefanski's move sabotage, betrayal, and even hinted at witchcraft. Witchcraft! Meanwhile, Cleveland looked like a circus with wireless headsets and lost scripts. Stefanski tried to spin it, saying it was a strategic decision. Strategic? Fans weren't buying that nonsense for a second. What's strategic about benching the one dude who has the whole city buying jerseys and believing again? Cleveland hasn't seen this level of drama since Baker Mayfield had more commercials than completions. It's like this franchise wakes up every morning asking, how can we make today crazier than yesterday? And Shedeur, man, you could see it in his face. Helmet on, jaw tight, eyes locked forward. Not angry, just focused. That quiet kind of fire that says, keep doubting me, I'll see you next game. And that's when the internet exploded. Hashtags flying faster than Brown's interceptions. Fans tweeting that Stefanski lost his mind.
Bayless did not hold back on Kevin Stefanski when it comes to Shedeur Sanders. Now, we all know Skip Bayless is making his appearance on Gil's Arenas Gridiron, and they talking football, and he let loose on Kevin Stefanski with Gilbert Arenas on Gil's Arena and the crew over there on Gil's Gridiron. And Skip Bayless unleashed a gauntlet on Kevin Stefanski for his mishandling of Shedeur Sanders. But Skip Bayless went on and said, this is not no knock on Dylan.
That Skip was actually right for once, and that this was the beginning of the end. But come on, this is Cleveland we're talking about. They've been living at the end for years. They just keep finding new ways to decorate it. Skip Bayless took that moment like it was divine proof he was born to fight this battle. Overnight, the man became a one-man revolution. You'd think Shedeur Sanders was his long-lost kid the way he came charging in to defend him. Every show, every tweet, every rant, nothing but straight fire. And when Skip starts cooking, there's no such thing as subtle. He builds whole worlds out of outrage. To hear him tell it, Kevin Stefanski didn't just bench a player, he benched destiny. He benched the heartbeat of football's future, the swagger that turned into a promise. According to Skip, the Browns staged a full-on coup against hope itself. Then the twist hit. People started whispering that Skip's legal crusade wasn't really about fairness. It was about brand damage. He wasn't just defending Shedeur's name, he was protecting the Bayless empire. Because if Skip isn't in the middle of the firestorm, is he even Skip anymore?
ESPN, Fox Sports analyst had to say, and he sounded off about Kevin Stefanski and Cleveland's plan for Shedeur Sanders. He said, Stefanski knows if he gives in to Shedeur, he's a goner, because he's dug in internally with the owner and the GM that he just wants no part of Shedeur. He doesn't like him. He doesn't like the way he handles himself. He doesn't like the way he carries himself in the locker room and the social media and all those things that nobody liked about him in the NFL draft. I think it is a weird claim to make to say that the head coach doesn't like a player on his team, doesn't like a quarterback, right? Like, maybe it's weird to speculate about personal feelings between Shedeur and Stefanski, but there certainly are some signs that Shedeur's not Stefanski's favorite quarterback on the roster.
Let's be honest, the only real reason to bench Shedeur is fear. The kid's got that glow, that electricity that makes every camera love him and every veteran uneasy. Coaches say they love competition until the young gun starts making their system look outdated. Then it turns into, he's not ready yet, which usually means he's making me look replaceable. And that's what set the fans off. They weren't mad about the benching, they were mad about the cowardice. The Browns looked at pure excitement and said, nah, too risky, and went right back to playing it safe. Cleveland had a shot to ride the wave, to finally give the city something to believe in, and instead they traded hope for stability. Because if there's one thing the Browns seem to love more than losing, it's pretending they're thinking long-term while everyone else is actually winning. Skip knew it, the fans knew it, and Shedeur definitely knew it. You could see it in his stance. Helmet tilted, jaw locked, eyes burning, not angry, just determined. That silent message was loud as a stadium.
Interception, obviously, in 3 games. Can a young quarterback sometimes be too cautious?
Well, we've talked about it over the years or weeks this season. You want to be smart, aggressive. You don't want to just be conservative for the sake of being conservative. So it's a balance there, and we coach our quarterbacks to be aggressive when the time calls for it and let it rip, and then also understanding that taking care of the football is a big.
Keep doubting me. I'll see you next game. You don't grind your whole life lighting up the field just to become a motivational poster for patience. You don't sling rockets in practice only to hold a clipboard on Sunday. What Cleveland calls strategy looks a whole lot like fear. And Skip, he's turning that fear into a headline heard around the league. Every time the Browns drop one of those calm, PR-polished statements, Skip Bayless is right there lighting another match. Stefanski says team unity, and boom, 5 new rumors about locker room chaos hit the timeline. It's like clockwork. Talent, ego, and overreaction colliding in glorious slow motion. It's pure Cleveland cinema. The city's in meltdown mode, and the drama's so thick you could butter toast with it. By the time game day rolls around, every camera in the building is locked on Shedeur Sanders like he's a ticking time bomb just waiting to explode. Every pregame shot, every sideline stare.
That way, no stage will be too big for him, even at Pittsburgh against that defense, even if you just thrown him into the dumpster fire in the fourth quarter. You say, that's not fair. It's Shedeur. And you would see right away the energy would go up in the huddle because they all know they're playing not to lose with Dillon Gabriel. And I feel sorry for Dillon Gabriel, and you and we're rooting against him. And
The tension is unreal. The crowd can't take it anymore. You can feel the restlessness. Fans chanting Shedeur's name even though he's not starting, like a protest wrapped in football jerseys. Stefanski's pacing the sideline like he's trying to convince himself that this was all part of some master plan. And somewhere out there, Skip's watching it all unfold with that "I told you so" grin, waiting for karma to cash in. Then the game starts, and instantly, you can feel the awkward energy oozing off the field. Dillon Gabriel's out there running plays so cautious, it's like he's hosting a how-to class for throwing checkdowns. Every snap feels like a tutorial on how not to risk anything, and you can practically see the TV cameras creeping closer to the bench, waiting for that iconic shot. Stefanski breaking, Shedeur standing, destiny calling. And then there's Skip. Oh, he's in his element now.
I like him as a kid because he's a really good kid, but as a football player, as a quarterback in this predicament of a situation, I'm rooting against him. And I feel sorry for him because behind him is the most popular backup quarterback in the history.
On every screen, every podcast, every trending feed, he's doing interviews like a man running for office, and his campaign slogan is simple: justice for Shedeur. He's framing this whole saga like a full-blown civil rights movement for quarterbacks. The man's got charts, film clips, and sound bites, treating game tape like courtroom evidence. He's banging a desk, shouting, "Order in the court of public opinion," as if ESPN just turned into Law & Order, NFL edition. But while Skip's out here losing his mind, Shedeur's doing the exact opposite. He's quiet, composed, no complaints, no cryptic tweets, no passive-aggressive comments, just laser focus and pure professionalism. And that silence is making everyone nervous because an angry quarterback, you can manage that. You can contain that. But a calm quarterback, that's the one you should fear. That's the silence before a storm. The same kind of calm you see right before a comeback drive or a game-winning moment.
Of Kevin Stefanski not knowing what quarterback talent looks like. Now, we all been covering this story ever since Shedeur Sanders was drafted by the Cleveland Browns and everything that went on in training camp. All the lies, all the smoke and mirrors that people were saying about Shedeur Sanders. Now we have to produce videos about Mary Kay Cabot, one of the Cleveland Brown insiders, beat writers, where she knew what it was with Shedeur Sanders because Mary Kay Cabot, she attended Shedeur Sanders' pro day in Colorado.
And deep down, every coach on that sideline knows it. Shedeur's not defeated, He's plotting, and when that moment finally comes, oh, it's gonna shake the whole league. By now, the whole situation had snowballed into pure madness. Analysts finally started saying what everyone was already thinking. Kevin Stefanski isn't managing a quarterback room, he's managing fear. He's not scared that Shedeur Sanders isn't ready. He's terrified that Shedeur is too ready, because once fans get a real taste of what that kid can do, there's no going back. You can't unsee greatness, and Stefanski knows it. It's the oldest play in the NFL's drama handbook. Coaches love potential until that potential starts threatening their authority. The moment the rookie starts shining too bright, suddenly it's, he needs more time. Or, we're sticking with the process. Translation, he's making me look replaceable. And Skip Bayless? Oh, he's out here tossing gasoline on the fire like it's his full-time job. Every show, every rant, every headline, another verbal grenade lobbed straight at Cleveland's front office.
We saw her all throughout camp when Gabriel got all the reps. Shedeur never got reps with the first teamers, despite being the starter for one of the games in preseason, 2 of the games, in fact. And so then Cleveland, of course, drafted Gabriel in the 3rd round ahead of Sanders, and also named Gabriel the backup instead of Shedeur to Flacco. This was really fishy, though, in the Dolphins game. I mean, you're up 31-6, 4.5 minutes left, and you still have Gabriel out there. I mean, you won't even put in Shedeur for a couple minutes. And that's weird because you see every other backup in the league.
He's painting Stefanski like the cartoon villain in a football movie, the kind who benches the hero right before the championship game, only to realize too late that he just sidelined greatness. It's dramatic, it's over the top, and somehow it's perfectly believable because this is Cleveland, the city that could turn a simple coin toss into a full-blown scandal. And just when you think the script can't get crazier, the universe decides to crank that chaos dial even higher. Next week, the Browns lose again. Ugly, brutal. One of those games so bad the locker room feels like a funeral. The silence is heavier than a defensive lineman, and reporters start circling like vultures. Every question's the same. What about Shedeur? And Stefanski, bless his heart, gives the same robotic answer every time.
Situation right now in Cleveland and how you went mute.
It's the biggest travesty in the history of the National Football League. And if he ever gets his chance, God willing, he will seize it and make them all look like fools.
Do you think he's going to play this year?
You go with Dylan Gabriel for 5 games or 6 games, and surely you're going to lose almost all of them, if not all of them. Give him the bottom of the schedule because he got his chance flukishly and he balled out.
Yeah.
You can say, oh, it's just the preseason, but you could see him on stage. If you give him a shot, he's going to see.
We're sticking with the plan. You can practically hear Skip screaming from 1,000 miles away. Veins popping, papers flying. His so-called legal crusade has now become a full-on cultural event. At this point, Skip could blame the whole thing on Mercury being in retrograde, and half the internet would nod like, yeah, that tracks. It's chaos wrapped in comedy. But here's where the story takes a poetic twist. Rumors start leaking that management has finally had enough. Behind closed doors, they're quietly telling Stefanski to fix it fast. The benching's bad for morale, bad for ticket sales, bad for PR, basically bad for everything. And the wildest part? Skip's ridiculous lawsuit talk. Yeah, that nonsense has actually started making real waves. Somehow his madness is turning into momentum and Cleveland's feeling the heat. The Browns' PR department is drowning in chaos. Calls, emails, and official inquiries about a lawsuit that doesn't even exist. That's the wild power of sports delusion.
In charge, it's going to be over his dead body that Shedeur is going to play a snap this year. As I've always said about Dylan Gabriel, I think he's a little better than Tua. Built stocky like Tua, nice arm, accurate, but he ain't Shedeur. Shedeur is very special to me. If Shedeur were starting right now for the Cleveland Browns, I think they'd be the talk of the league because they did just beat the Packers because they have the #1 defense in the National Football League. If you gave Shedeur Judkins in that defense, I guarantee you he would be lighting it up because he was born and raised to be a starting quarterback in the
When outrage gets loud enough, people start mistaking drama for justice. And now, Kevin Stefanski's boxed into a corner tighter than a blitz pocket. The offense collapses again. Fourth quarter, another 3-and-out, total disaster. The crowd's booing so loud it sounds like a Broadway show that forgot the script. Then the camera cuts to Shedeur Sanders. He's standing on the sideline, helmet strapped, eyes steady, not moving an inch. But the whole energy shifts. You can feel it in the air, that raw, uncontrollable hope that only football fans can summon. The crowd's chanting his name like a battle cry. And honestly, who can blame them? At this point, it's not even football, it's theater. The kind of messy, unscripted, can't-look-away chaos that makes sports so addictive. Stefanski's on the sideline, frozen. You can practically see the panic behind his calm face. He hears the chants, he feels the pressure, and he knows his entire reputation now depends on one decision.
It's just excruciating to watch what they're trying to do to Shedeur. Again, they're still trying to teach him a lesson. They sabotaged it. They rigged it against him today, putting him in with third and fourth stringers, fifth stringers. Free Shedeur from Cleveland. Free him. Get him the hell out of Cleveland. Get him out from under that wicked Kevin Stefanski.
Does he keep dying on the Dylan Gabriel hill, or does he finally give the fans the fire they came for? The crowd screaming, the tension's electric, and he does nothing, absolutely nothing. The man stands there, headset on, blank stare, frozen like someone hit pause on his career. Gabriel finishes the game, the Browns lose again, and the fans storm out of the stadium like witnesses to a crime scene. Skip Bayless, he's already working on his next case file, probably organizing exhibits labeled Exhibit A, incompetence, and Exhibit B, denial. After the game, Stefanski faces the media, and when they ask about the chants, he gives the same robotic response. We respect the fans' passion, which when translated from coach speak means, I hear them.
It's in his bloodline. The league wanted to teach him and his father a lesson. That's why he fell to the 5th round. Cleveland has the potential. I can see him winning 7 or 8 games, seriously. So Stefanski loves Flacco. Stefanski obviously loves Dylan Gabriel. Stefanski loves Bailey Zappi, who he brought back and is on the practice squad, but I think he's really number 3 on the depth chart. So how's Shedeur going to get a shot unless the owner steps in and just says, stop it? If they're really struggling, where they're like 2.
And I'm terrified. Meanwhile, Shedeur's calm, still not talking, not tweeting, not complaining, just showing up, grinding, waiting. That patience, it's dangerous. That's the kind of calm before a storm that turns games into legends. Then the whispers start spreading like wildfire. Sources inside the organization quietly saying he's set to start the final 4 games of the season. And that's when everyone finally admits it. Skip might have actually willed this into existence. All those rants, the theatrics, the fake lawsuit, it somehow worked. The fans are calling it destiny. The league's holding its breath. And Cleveland? Oh, Cleveland's about to witness a storyline that could rewrite everything. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, because this storm's just getting started, and you won't want to miss what happens next. See you on the next one.